I just think freedom is the biggest thing, to control your time, do what you want when you want, and it not be detrimental to your finances.
So the big question is this: how do real estate investors who don't have a ton of free time, don't have access to off-market deals, and didn't start life on third base? How do we conservatively grow our real estate business to support our families, finally leave the corporate rat race, and build a legacy? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. I'm Ed Mathews, and this is Real Estate Underground. Greetings and salutations, Real Estate Undergrounders. It is Ed Mathews with the Real Estate Underground. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited about this conversation because this gentleman we are cut from the similar cloth. And Joao Macavilca, thank you so much for joining us. I hope I didn't butcher your name, my friend, but thank you so much for joining us today. And that's really good to see you.
Thanks, man. No, that was perfect. Someone said my name correctly the first time, so that's awesome. Glad to be here, happy to help, and look forward to this.
Cool. For those folks that haven't discovered you, why don't you tell us a little bit about STF construction, and then we can talk about your capital business as well.
Gotcha. My name is Joao, like you said. I am a commercial general contractor. I have my company, STF Construction, which I started after I started getting into real estate, things like that, and just started learning and growing from there, with little cosmetic flips, getting to bigger and better things, getting my own in-house crew, getting subs, getting things like that, but also understanding what goes behind each one of these phases and grasping that before expanding more, and just doing work whenever I can, whether it be for my jobs or other investors, and just looking at more expansion.
Excellent. And not only have you done nearly a couple hundred renovations on your own, you also have built a sizable portfolio of buy and hold.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. Currently have 92 doors, I believe, or 93, I'm not sure. It's just funny how, as you keep doing this, how the deals come to you, how easier it gets as time progresses.
Yeah, I think part of it is that you build a reputation as a person easy to do business with and can close, right? And these days, people who can close aren't tons and tons of those people out there, right? And also, I think the fact that people gravitate towards success. Yeah. So how did you get into real estate, the draw for you?
So like a lot of people, I had a regular 9 to 5 job, just busted my ass and do what I could to move up, and then decided, hey, if I work extra hard, extra hours, went the extra mile, eventually I'll move up the corporate ladder, if you would. And I did. I started moving up the ladder, getting promotions and getting higher titles and things like that. But even with that, even with the higher titles, even with more money, more raises coming, it still wasn't enough to live a life that I enjoyed. It wasn't enough to buy a nice car, go on vacations lavishly, have nice things. It was always a little over just my standard bills, my rent, my car, my insurance, food, get to go out to eat once in a while, maybe do a vacation or two a year.
Yeah.
Just myself, really, or one more person. And it was never enough to live the life I wanted, I dreamed of. And I just needed to make a difference to something. And it's just led me down the rabbit hole of, how do you make money? How do you grow? How do you build? And real estate was one of the ones that stuck out the most because it made a lot of sense. I did stocks and crypto, and some successful, some not. But real estate was something I can feel, I can touch. I know the address of one of my properties. I know where it's at. I know what's coming to that area. And as you learn and grow, you know where to buy and why to buy.
There's something about being able to hop in your car or your truck and go out and directly affect the value of a piece of property as opposed to buying a stock and hoping the CEO and the executive suite know what they're doing. Or crypto, which don't get me started because I have no clue how that's valued. But other than it goes up sometimes and it comes down sometimes, and no one can give me an explanation as to why, other than demand. Okay. So we put our money elsewhere. So offline, you can explain to me, you can take a shot at explaining crypto to me because I've yet to meet somebody that can do it. So in terms of your growth, right? And you started, so construction was where you started, or were you flipping houses first, or like where?
No, construction first deal. It's pretty much growing up in New Jersey originally. My dad didn't want to pay anyone to do anything. So he bought those Home Depot $1, $2, $3, made me learn that kind of stuff. And then when he did have to pay someone else because I couldn't do it, he didn't know how to do it, he made me work with them side by side. So I would learn how to do it so he wouldn't have to pay them going forward.
Yep.
So that's how it started. And I realized staying in the same box that I was always in New Jersey, working my way up corporate ladder, it was safe. So I was always going to find a reason not to do something or not take that chance. So I made a decision to move somewhere away from Jersey, which happened to be in Carolina. That's between North, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So places that were growing in the next few years and that wasn't anywhere near New Jersey. So I made that decision and decided either I'm going to make it down there or I'm going to come back home and be exactly where I was.
Yep.
So need to take that chance and see what happens. I may fall, I may make mistakes, but I'm going to get up. I'm going to learn from each one and keep going.
Yeah, it's actually a quality of most successful entrepreneurs, right? Is that dogged stubbornness. It doesn't go your way. That's okay. The plan's good. We're going to keep working it.
Exactly.
Make a couple adjustments, learn from your mistakes, but the general direction's the same. You build the construction company, that becomes a resounding success. You begin to take on your own projects. How did you move from doing that to multifamily? What was the impetus?
So you grow and learn as you go. And buying my first duplex was a huge shit in my mind because now it's not recording with somebody and doing it with somebody else. It's mine. And then the next one comes, which is a whole different layout, whole different floor plan. Then the next house that comes available, different subdivision, complete schematics, different HVAC, different electric, different water, everything is different. So I just kept always having to adapt to every single one. And it's different. It's made by a different builder, different year, different HOAs, whatever you want to call them. And then I went to an event. It was Mike Ely's mastermind in Ohio. And
He's brilliant.
he's the one who helped me get my commercial deals, training and networking. Went to his event, and one of my buddies was presenting in construction there. And he can talk amazingly, but I had the spreadsheets and the PDFs and all that. So he asked me to help him out. I did. I went there, gave my spiel, met people there. I started learning, like, you buy a 12-unit apartment complex, for example, like we did, it's all the same. You do one or two, everything's from there to copy and paste.
Yeah.
Same amount of paint, same amount of flooring, same amount of toilets, same paint scheme, same everything. So it was just so much easier than the houses I'm doing that are 2,000 square feet plus that could have framing issues, window issues, whatnot. It may take a little longer to do because of the volume, but the return is drastically so much more commercial wise. And now you have the buying power too. Now I can go to Home Depot and set up once every week or twice a week. I'm going there and I'm going to be ordering for 12 apartments. Here's what I need. And the volume discounts and the relationships you build are so much more than residential.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like you were saying, the economies of scale are fantastic. So in terms of like materials and all that, you mentioned volume discounts. How are you managing? Because I imagine you also said something about having your own team now. And how are you managing the properties? Do you do that yourself or do you outsource that?
So depending on the size, one biggest thing I've noticed a lot is when I first started, I was not the best property manager at all. So then I hired a property manager who was standard rate. They've been doing it for years. But as you grow, it's okay. I know I did something wrong. Do I want to just put it behind me and go? Or should I learn more into it? So I leaned back and forth. And now I'm back to the point where it's not as difficult as I've seen. It's just something I don't want to do. So there was a book I read called Who the How, and it tells you to find the person, everything. And that's what I started doing. I was like, all right, project management is a big factor. It's not something I want to do at all. I don't want to take those calls. I don't want to screen, but somebody else may be better at that than I am. I found people, did that. So now we're bringing that in-house as well. And that's going to be a game changer because I'm not paying 10% to a property manager. I'm not doing that stuff. So I think it's important for all investors, even if you don't want to deal with construction. You may not want to change a floor joist. You may not want to install LVP flooring, but you got to understand what it takes to do that. You got to know how hard it is, what the issues may be, and at least understand that before subbing it out or giving it to somebody else. Because I only have knowledge into doing it.
So talk me through the systems and the processes, right? Because obviously you're one guy and there's only 24 hours in the day and you require sleep. And I'm sure you like to go out and have fun. So I'm sure you're not working 18 hours a day, right? I hope you're not. And so how do you get your team to run the way you want them to run?
Well, the good thing there is I have my in-house construction crew as well. I've got a foreman in North Carolina. I've got a foreman in South Carolina. And sometimes I'll interchange depending on the project. So the good thing is they've been with me for multiple years. And that's something that's also hard to find in construction. Like you'll hear the biggest headache for a lot of investors is the contract didn't show up. This is happening. This is going wrong. And it can really make or break a deal. So I'm very grateful that my guys have been with me for many years. I did recently change our sheetrocker. I found a great one for the last 7, 8 months. He's awesome. Really get down to earth and added to the team. So we're good there. But pretty much the process is similar. Like I'll go walk a property, kind of I use an app called Cubicasa, Cubicasa.
Okay.
And you walk around the whole house, the apartment, whatever you want to do, and it scans everything for you. It scans it, and then that way I have an idea, and then I shoot it over to myself. It takes about 24 hours for the free version to make a floor plan. And then I take my pictures, my videos, because I may have ideas while I'm walking it, but a day or a week later, I may forget little things. Videos, make sure you get the idea of what you want to do. And before you start anything on any project, doesn't matter if it's an apartment or a house, you got to run the comps.
Yep.
You don't want to put quartz countertop in an area that coming in doesn't need that.
Yep.
You don't want to put stainless steel appliances. Then you want to make sure you're following the comps and you're doing it that way. Otherwise, overpay for something and now you're over leveraged.
Yep.
So find what's going on, find what's growing, follow those comps, do it that way. And I like doing one color for all of my eaves. So whatever color the ceiling is, same as the baseboard, the doors, the walls.
Yeah.
That way, when there's a turnover, just do it again and do it that way easier versus losing 2-3 days on covering this. It's a rental. It's not a personal home. It's not an Airbnb that needs a special touch. We just need to make sure it's good quality and get it rented out.
Clean,
so
safe.
there are orders. My property manager in-house now, simple as it was probably a good week of just headaches of, hey, I do this. But now it's flowing. Now I'm just getting emails and texts on, we've got 3 more leads today. We got 2 more people that want to see it. And great, good to hear. I don't want to respond to those, but let me know how it goes. So now I don't have to worry about that. It's more money coming into the business and overall.
Operational leverage is a huge win when you figure out, because letting go is hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how did you get over that hump? Because having experienced that myself, I'm a fellow control freak. How did you let go?
That's one of the hardest things, man, because when you start as an entrepreneur or working for yourself, you are everything. You're the admin, you're the secretary, you're the manager, you're the foreman, you're everything. You're the property manager. And that helps build who you are, where you need to be. You need to have that in you. So, but when you got to let go is when there's too many projects going on and something on my side, one project's being delayed because I'm taking time to answer questions for something else that I shouldn't be, or that I don't need to. So it was hard for me to let go of some things because I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to spend extra time. But one thing we got to realize, and who was it? I think it was my foreman told me, he's, hey, I don't envy you. I know you got a lot of stuff, but your phone's always ringing. Sometimes you're talking to me and then Brian goes somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You guys are lucky because once that clock hits 5:36, you're done for the day. My phone can ring till 9, 10 o'clock. And even if it doesn't, my mind can go from, holy crap, we could do this differently during dinner or during a movie after hours. And your mind's always going. So
After
put the right
hours,
person in the right
that?
spot. So that book helped a lot. Who, Not How. Find the right person, put them in the right spot.
Yeah.
Someone that you can groom and train to the way you get it done. And it just helped me so much where I cannot focus on what I need to focus on. But I'm reading another book now, which is amazing. It's Who's in Your Room? And that has also, I'm not done with it. I'm halfway there. But that was,
that's a new one.
answering questions.
That's a new one. And we'll put that on the list of books.
The right person to help you focus on things you're great at.
Yeah, because a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking, okay, I'm going to hire Ed, and Ed is going to be 80% of what I'm capable of doing, which is going to have to be good enough. Then Ed joins the team, and it turns out he's actually better at it than you ever were because he's focused on it, for one thing, but also he's been doing this a while. You're the one that interviewed him. You've been able to vet him and make sure that guy knows what he's doing. And the amount of free time and energy that you get back to go do the other things you need to do, which we're going to talk about next, worth every penny.
It's been a game changer. It's more controlled and easier.
Yeah.
And I just got to hop on a call. If it's an emergency call, I'll take.
Sure.
Or otherwise, it's like it's a Friday call every other Friday. Hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we got. Okay, cool.
Blood, flood, or fire, call me. Other than that, send me a text or an email. We're good.
That's my friend.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so in terms of what you're doing now that you're freed up and you're controlling and managing that operation, but you're not swinging a hammer. What's your focus day to day?
So just looking for more jobs, making sure things are actually falling into place. If we got a product coming online any day this week, I think we're having issues with the MLS. North Carolina specific, you need floor plans, so that was something I was not aware of. So we're getting that situated. We're working on a huge commercial deal coming up soon. So speaking with the county inspectors, making sure you're on the good side, just finding out what the issues were before, what their expectations are going forward, and just make sure you're doing it the right way.
Right
So
on.
just doing things that I like to do and I'm good at versus trying to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And I think it's not only is it whether you're good at it or not, but also do you have the time and energy, right? Because even if you're good at it, but you only have time to do a certain level of job in terms of standards, that's going to be restricting as well. Right. So in terms of where you're taking the business, what does 5, 10 years down the road look like?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Want to flip your first house but stuck at square one? Flipper Camp is your guide. In just one weekend, you'll walk away with the exact step-by-step plan, tools, and confidence to flip a house profitably without quitting your job. Seats are limited, and Founders pricing ends soon. Join the movement of future flippers today at flippercamp.com.
5, 10 years down the road, I want to say not as busy, but at the last few years, and every time, so it's kind of like adjacent where it can't get busier than now. Something else bigger hits, bigger opportunities, more stuff. So I'm hoping it's more relaxed and just on autopilot, and I could just take calls and hop on meetings here and there and just be able to enjoy more. And I'm very grateful for what I have today and what I've been able to do. So just less involved and more oversight is where I want to go.
I love it. So business owner instead of an operator, right? Yeah, there you go. It's Kiyosaki 101, man.
So we'll go.
All right, cool. Okay, so let's move to the final five. I'm always interested in leaders like you and folks that are in your business, in your position. You get up on Monday morning, the mortgage is paid for, car payments are they're either non-existent or they're handled. You've got all the things you're doing as a person in your family. So your family's taken care of. And nevertheless, you get up and you go to work, right? So that tells me it's not about money anymore. It's about something else. I call it purpose. So what gets you out of bed on Monday morning? What's your purpose?
So it gets me out of bed Monday mornings. Pretty much just the life I've been able to create, the experience I've been able to have. Working that 9 to 5, being in real estate is a whole different ballgame. So I don't get that standard 40-hour-a-week paycheck anymore. The better property I buy or the more I put into it, the bigger return I get. So not only do I get that refi check at the end or something, but I get monthly rentals, income.
Yep.
I get appreciation I can write off in tax-wise. I get appreciation on the property over the years. I've been able to go to Thailand, Colombia, or else I can't remember, Europe, Greece, Italy, Rome. And I've been able to take my family with me. So these are things that was not possible without real estate being involved and being able to grow things and be able to do things like that. I want to keep having that lifestyle, provide for my family, make sure we're all okay, and break the gap that we had as just standard 9 to 5ers.
Yeah, right on. It's amazing how your perspective changes when you're able to do those things. Yeah.
I can get a brand new iPhone, but that experience going to Thailand and going to a like elephant sanctuary with my family, never again or taken away.
Yeah, but the iPhone, you're going to replace 2 or 3 years. But being able to take your family to Thailand is amazing for you and for them.
That was awesome.
All right. I'm also interested in how growth, right? So when you're coming up, you mentioned Mike Ely. I'm sure you've had other mentors as well. I'm curious about the best advice you ever got and who was the person who gave it to you?
Best advice ever given. I would have to say it was from Nate Barger, who's one of Mike's partners. His background is construction. He just told me, if you really want it, you can find a way to get it. Like, you can do it. But when I first met him, I had 2, 4, 6 properties. And ran into him in the hall, and he took the time to talk to me and asked me, what does he want to do? And And I told him I want to be like you. I want to have a lot of properties, I want to grow and everything. And he just flat out asked me, what's stopping you? Oh, I'm going to do this project. He's like, no, I said, you're making excuses. I said, what's stopping? I was like, oh, it's hard to find them. He's, I'll pull up the phone right now. I'll find you 5 or 6 deals. You can do it. You're just making excuses just because you're comfortable. It's not as much. So you got to get uncomfortable. You have to go get it. You really want it? Go get it. And it really hit me. And $90 later, it worked. I'm about to do another big deal. Hopefully I can announce it in the next 2 weeks or so. It's just going to be a game changer. It's something, you walk for. We all pray for things and want things, but we got to remember those times where we had nothing or a little bit, and we asked for the opportunity we have in front of us now. So that's why every time about anybody, so entrepreneurs, it's busy, it's crazy. Yeah. There was a time when we first started and we had almost nothing, and we prayed for this kind of business. So we want to take advantage of that and do something with it. So I would put a lot of what I have to Nate Barja and what he's done for me.
Yep. Awesome. You're running around, working hard, working long hours, and you probably make 20 decisions a day. Without a doubt, we learn way more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. So I'm curious about a decision that you made along the way that you look back on now and go, man, wish I had that one back. And what did you do about it?
So decisions I made, I just go back just a few of them. A lot of them go with under budgeting, assuming, it's going to cost me $50,000 to renovate this property with a $10,000 extra just for buffer, so 60. And then something comes out that you break this wall and you find this out or something else goes wrong. I've increased that recently to 25%. Worst case, I use it. I'm still within budget, doesn't affect the plan. Best case, I don't use it, and now I'm under budget and there's more return for the profit. But another big mistake would be not starting sooner, like waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
Just being nervous and, oh, wait, I don't need another one this year. And then unfortunately checking back a year or two later, what is it worth today? And like, could have got that one. But just not starting it yourself and then not preparing for the what ifs.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I read Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad in 2008. A buddy of mine gave it to me and fundamentally changed my life. It took me 3 years to pull the trigger, right? Because same thing, I was afraid. I didn't want to make mistakes. I didn't want to blow what little capital I had, all the reasons. I was really good at making excuses. I tell the story about a broker who basically, I'm a foot taller than her, but scared the hell out of me. And I'm pretty sure she threatened my life if I didn't sign the contract. And I did. And it worked out really well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sounds like Nate, your conversation with Nate was a little more encouraging. Mine was terrifying, but that's all good.
Just calling me out on all the bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So I'm curious about, you mentioned Mike, and I know his course, he's incredibly generous with, he and Nate and the rest of those guys are incredibly generous with what they do. Actually, he just wrote a book that I'm in the middle of. I just got it. I almost said I'm in the middle of reading. I'm not. It's actually sitting right here. And I can't wait to read it. It is on my list of books next. So if you haven't read it, or if you have read it, don't tell me how it ends. All right. But I'm curious about the books or how you take in information. Are you an audiobook guy, a hardcover book guy, podcasts or YouTube? Like, how do you get smarter in doing what you do? And
A little bit of
also
everything.
paying attention to is the other question.
It's a little bit of everything pretty much. When I first started, I was just reading a book because I can sit down, TV doesn't have to be on, I have to focus on the book. So I gave my 100% focus on the book. And like you said, it was risk scored. That was my first one. It was given to me by Macavilca, who said, hey, you need to learn more about finances. So I gave me the book. And the second time I read it is when it clicked for me. And that was about a year later. So that's when it all clicked and started making sense to me. So I like to read books. However, I got one project that's 2 hours away. I got another one that's an hour and a half the other way. And at that time, I can't read. So I do audiobooks. And I try to make sure it's books that I want to read and that I already have on the shelf so I can read it or see a different way. And podcasts as well. I don't want to listen to books every single day. So maybe if I need a break here and there, I may not be talking to somebody, but it's people sitting and having a conversation about something. You can relate to podcasts.
Yep.
But I like the audiobooks the most because I can pause it, go back, see it, and then just see what else recommended. And now I found out who's in your room. It's just all the books, all the real estate books I've got and business books. That's one that was popped up. And I was like, let me Google it and read a little bit about the reviews and what it entails.
Good. Like I said, it just made my list. I'll be sure to get on it. And I'm an audio guy too. So I'm encouraged that it sounds like that one's on Audible. So thank God.
Yeah.
Cool. So at the end of the day, one of the things that I think a lot of people think about is the concept of enough. And so I'm curious, a lot of people define that as success. And so I'm curious, how do you define success in your life today? And what do you think that looks like down the road?
So success for me is basically defined by freedom. If I want to go to Mexico tomorrow, I'm going tomorrow. I can do what I want when I want. I don't have to put in a PTO request
Right.
and pray that John isn't off the same week, or that it's inventory week, or whatever the case is. I'm not needed to be somewhere immediately where I can choose, you know what? It's been a crazy week. It's Wednesday. Just going to take a trip down here real quick and do what I want. Not have to worry about that. So I got my phone with me, my laptop. I can go where I want and visit where I want. And I just think freedom is the biggest thing, to control your time, do what you want when you want, and it not be detrimental to your finances where, okay, this is my last 3,000. We're going to actually go and have a ball. Now I don't need to check this account. I don't need to save. I can just go and experience the world and live my life and not be controlled by clocking in or clocking out.
Awesome. Yeah. Time freedom is a beautiful thing. Joao, when you are not thinking about real estate, although I suspect that's a lot of your day, what do you like to do for fun other than travel?
It's barbecue. I like to test new recipes out. Just maybe 2 months ago, found out about cowboy butter, and it is my go-to so far. So I like to barbecue. I like to fish. I like to go out of the boat and just relax and have fun at the lake. I like to work out, get a lot of stress out of things like that, and just enjoy life. But we all need money. We all need to keep moving. We've also got limited time.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure you're enjoying it.
It's wise. Yeah. You only get so many summers, right? So how can people learn about you or your construction business or your capital business? What's the best way to get in touch?
Probably Instagram or Facebook. Facebook is my first name and last name. Instagram is JOAOMAC_STF. And just shoot a DM, reach out, schedule a call, whatever you want to do. If I got projects ongoing and someone's local that wants to come visit, schedule a day and walk through it and ask every question you've got.
Awesome. Like I said before we started recording, I got family down there. So next time I'm down in the Carolinas, you can expect a DM from me, although I have your cell phone, so I'll just call you. Really nice to meet you. Congratulations on all your success and continued good fortune.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the time.
Yep. Me too.
This has been The Real Estate Underground. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us grow. Until next time, Undergrounders, remember your real estate journey begins with a simple step forward. Now get to it. Bye for now.
This has been The Real Estate Underground. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps us grow. Until next time, Undergrounders, remember your real estate journey begins with a simple step forward. Now get to it. Bye for now.